What's happening, good people? I am First Things First. Don't forget the coach, then comes Mo. And you're here with the Evening Social Podcast Spotlight on JEGNAFEST Worldwide Radio Show. Tonight, we're here with 64111 studio owner, Jaz Brewer. How you doing, sir?
What's going on? What's going on, Coach Mo? How you doing, man?
Man, doing good, man.
All right.
Appreciate you getting over here. Know it's a busy time during the week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I always make time for the kids, man.
Thank you, man. So let's just start this off by getting a little bit of background information, okay? Talk to me a little bit about your early life and where you grew up.
All right, so I moved to KC when I was like 9 years old. I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
And, yeah, I've been here ever since. Started off actually in Rosedale when I moved here. It was a lot. There's a lot going on, boy, the crack era and stuff back then. But yeah, we ended up moving to Missouri, and yeah, I was over in Southeast, and then it just kind of sprung from there.
Okay. What was your family like growing up?
It was cool. We had back in Omaha. I mean, we got a big family there. I didn't have a lot of family here, but I ended up making a lot of strong bonds with people. So I have a huge extended family, and then of course through the music, my family's even bigger. So yeah, I'm tied in with a bunch of people in the city.
Okay. So does anyone in your family influence your love for music?
Yeah, actually, my dad was a DJ, so back in Omaha. So I've always had it in me, you know what I'm saying? And then I don't know, all the music that we used to listen to back in the day. My sister influenced me a lot. She's a few years older than me, so she always used to sneak and get tapes and stuff, NWA and all that. I got introduced to a lot of music through my sister. I didn't have no business listening to it at that age, but yeah, we had a good time, man.
Okay. So would you say your dad, or was there other experiences that helped you realize that you wanted to pursue a career in music?
Actually, my influence really came from the technology side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I got into computers real heavy. So, and back in the day, so I had a Radio Shack mixer with a tape deck and stuff. And then my bro, Joe Good, he man, that's all we used to do is listen to music all the time. So yeah, mostly it was the technology that got me into it. You know what I'm saying? I was intrigued by that.
Okay. So how did that influence getting into music?
Um, well, I started off DJing.
Okay.
So yeah, I had a Radio Shack mixer, bought some 15-inch speakers that I got from, I mean, I forgot, it was like Sears or something. It was, man, I'm telling you, dog, it was back in the day. But once I started like playing music and really like studying lyrics and beats and stuff like that, that's how I got influenced. I was more of a hip hop type person. You know what I'm saying? So it was like we had the East Coast and West Coast, and everybody was picking sides and stuff. I was more on the East Coast side. I was into lyricism and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's basically how I got influenced by playing the music, and then I started studying how to create the music. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's say this. Did you have any music related activities that were related to what you school, or did you do anything?
You well, as far as like schooling, shoot, in high school I was already studying music. Like I said, I learned how to.
Okay.
I used to tear apart mom's receiver. See, back in the day, we had all the different individual components. You know what I'm saying? Everything is all in one now, Bluetooth speaker and all that. But you had the tape deck, CD player, equalizer, the receiver, which was basically your amplifier. So I used to tear all that stuff down and put it back together. You know what I'm saying? Before moms got home. So,
Okay.
yeah, once I learned how to do that, and then once I got into the DJ side and playing music, it just evolved into the creative side where we learned how to record, you know.
Okay. So you didn't play musical instruments in the band, sing any of those things?
Yeah, I played saxophone for
Okay.
quite a while. I still got a sax. And shoot, even in my old age, I just got a bass.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been studying bass and learning scales. I'm heavy off in the bass lines and bass scales and stuff. Anytime I listen to music, that's the first thing I'm listening for. So
Okay.
yeah.
So your first step into music was DJing, but what was the first step into the creative side for you?
Actually, it was my brother. He man, we used to freestyle all the time. Like, soon we get home, play some beats, and back in the day they had singles where artists would release just one song. So they would release these things called maxi singles. So it would be like the original song, the remix. Then you would have like the instrumental, the acapella, basically what you would call a DJ pack now. Back then it was called a maxi single. So we used to just take the instrumental part, and he would always write. He would just always be ready to go, and he actually started writing. And I took on a more technical role because I wasn't. I didn't want to be an artist, and he started writing lyrics and stuff like that. I was just intrigued with all the technology involved. So we just gradually ended up. He was the artist, and I was just basically his first engineer or guinea pig. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Joe Good, man.
Okay. So that was the first project you worked on. That
Yeah,
was
pretty
Joe.
much.
Okay.
Yep. After school, we get load up the tape deck. So I run my little Radio Shack mixer into the back of the tape deck, and we just record like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna jump all around. We're gonna jump back and forth through this interview.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So let's start off. I want you to tell me. So how did 6411 Studios 111 Studios come about?
All right. So once bro got good, he started doing shows around town and all that. He came up with an alias called Doctor Who, and so we had this thing called the Clinic. That was the actual house. It was 64111 Clinic, and he was Doctor Who. So basically, the Clinic was basically the studio. You know what I'm saying? The moms let us set up everything in the dining room, and so we just formed like a whole conglomerate from that, and that's what originally got started. Because the zip code I'm in right now is actually 64108. So 64111 is still a play on my mom's house, and that house is still in the family too. She still owns it, and it's in that zip code. So
Okay.
yeah, that's how that got started.
Okay. So right now would be a good time. Tell people where they can find you or reach out to 64111 Studios.
All right, so shoot, Jazz 64111 Studio, 1703 Summit, right off Broadway, right off 17th and Broadway. www.64111studio.com. That's where you can do all your booking, check out the rates, see what I've done, listen to some music. Yeah, so all my information is on the website.
Okay. So what was your vision for 6411 Studios when you first started?
When I first started, it was my goal was just to create the best sound possible for the city. I set out to be I wanted to be the city's best engineer. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I put in quite a bit of work, and I've, you know what I'm saying? I done got there. Like, you know, I done produced a bunch of hits for a lot of people, but that was my initial goal, was just to have the best sound possible. So, in my earlier years in 64111 Studio, the money I was making, I was just rolling it back in to make sure that I could upgrade equipment and just try to get the best sound possible. So.
Okay. Yeah. So what was would you say is maybe one of the biggest challenges that you've faced in your music career?
Well, a lot of black people are faced with the business side of things, because, you know, everything with me was just grassroots. Like, I was winging it for a while, as a lot of black owned businesses do, because we're not privy to the information that other people may be privy to. You know what I'm saying? So um, that was my biggest challenge, is just trying to find out how to actually run the business side of things. The creative side of things, once we got going, it was, you know what I'm saying, we was cooking up. You know, we making records and whatnot. But the business side is probably the most challenging thing, you know what I'm saying? When I got the building and trying to have the discipline to make sure you can cover your bills and writing out budgets and stuff like that. So I mean, hell, you had to have toilet paper, water, and you know what I'm saying? Like, just all the intangible things that come with trying to run a business. It was like, you know what I'm saying? Those are things that we didn't grow up or around. Luckily, my mom she's had a massage business, and she actually certified other masseuse through the state of Missouri to become certified practitioners or whatever. So I got a little bit of insight as far as like running a business just growing up. So I was lucky for that.
Okay. How have you seen the music industry change since you first started?
Man, the interactions, like trying to find fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have people aren't trying to get fans now. You know what I'm saying? It's like a clout thing. So it's like people online, they doing stuff for other reasons other than trying to gain fans. Like, if you get a fan base and you get an actual group of people that really buy into your story and what you actually saying on the record, you can sell them T-shirts. You can sell whatever. You can sell a tour. You can sell so many other things if you gain fans. And people aren't focused on fans, man. It's like a flash in the pan, dog. They just want likes. And it's like, man, focus on gaining fans. You know what I mean? And back in the day, you used to have to get out in the streets, and we call it shaking hands and kissing babies like the president do. Yeah. Like, and the technology changed so much that there's no longer of a tangible means for that. So if the only way that you could get people to listen to your music was on a CD or something physical, you had to literally go outside and get it to them. You know what I'm saying? And the challenge that I'm having now is it's a lot of artists, because I used to do the Cypher series back in the day where I would showcase artists.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too.
But it's so hard to get in touch with the artists now, because they creating in their room or at their house, and they just uploading stuff, and we never see them. So it's like hard to get in touch. It's hard to have a proper landscape of what artists are actually doing in the city, because we don't see nobody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we get into those ciphers, do you have a particular genre that you like working with more than the others? Because you work with several different genres.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a hip hop guy. I'm into lyricism. But I'm older now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I can't knock what the younger cats are doing. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta embrace that. But I'm from the golden era, you know what I'm saying? And the 93 to, 96, 99, it started getting a little weird. But I'm into the lyricism. I'm into everybody being different on purpose. Like, now it's different. Like, everybody wants to be the same. And if somebody's hot, then everybody just kind of hops on that instead of purposely. Because we used to call it biting back in the day. Yeah. If you do something somebody else is doing, or even if you sound like them, we like, well, what you doing, bro? You biting dude's style, like. So the golden era is where I'm at. I'm still hoping that there's a renaissance at some point that we can get back to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you start the ciphers, and what was that about?
So y'all can check out the KC Cypher series. I showcased over 170 artists. We did 22 episodes over like a 2-year span. Shoot, really, I got inspired by the BET Awards, the hip hop awards, because the regular BET Awards is earlier in the year, but the hip hop awards are like around October. And at one point, I used to have a party at the studio every year. We just come up because we was interested to see what artist was gonna do the ciphers. Every time they come from commercial break, they do a cipher. So during the course of the show, it's like 4 or 5 ciphers. They showcasing like 20, 30 artists each time. You know, I mean, well, it was like each award show.
Right.
So every time they came back from commercial, they would start it off with that segment would be a cipher. And I'm like, man, I feel like I can do that in the city. You know what I'm saying? So I bought a couple cameras and some mics and stuff, and yeah, we did our thing for a while.
Okay. Well, yeah, you should check it out. If you haven't, check out the Cypher series. You don't want to miss it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, man. A lot of guys that considered legends or people who've been in the game for a long time have been showcased on there. So.
So let's talk about some of those people. So who are and some of the notable artists that you've worked with?
I mean,
I know it's a lot of artists.
Yeah,
worked with over
I
here,
mean,
but just give me some of the notables that you.
Like Rich, I've been working with him the last 4 or 5 years. Popper, probably the last 10, 15 years. But anything you hear from Rich, we done put since the pandemic, we done put out like 20 albums. You know what I mean? So anything you hear from Popper, that's my work. Tech has a song called Pull Out, just started on Billboard. It's number 33. I did the hook on that. And then he also did the Class of Strange Music, the Cosm album. And it just came out though. So yeah, just go check that out too. We need to run the numbers up on that. So yeah, Kevi, Sully, Young Boss. Man, it's just countless people, man. Like pretty much anybody in the city, I done worked with them. Roblo Da Star, Miss Kush are some of the more recent artists that I've been working with. So they got some heat on the way. So I'm excited.
All right, man. Share just an interesting story with one just from your experience with a particular artist and producer.
Boy. So many like.
Yeah, well, this is PG too. We don't keep it PG.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, PG. I think one of the craziest. Well, I ain't gonna give y'all a crazy story, but I had Boosie. I had Boosie come in and do a record, and I had my guys. They was trying to get a verse from. It was like 10 bands or something like that, and they wanted to pay me like $100 to get out of my bed and come down there. And I'm like, man, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not coming down there for that. Y'all about to pay this man. Man, Boosie came in there and listened to the beat, and man, I'm talking about knocked the verse out like 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, okay.
That'd be 10 bands, bro. We gotta get to this airport. Knocked the verse out, got on up out of there, man. So yeah, I was like, oh, okay. So this is the type of money y'all making, man. Just lace a 16. You know what I'm saying? So that's a PG story for y'all.
Okay. All right. What do you think is the most important quality for an artist to have when they're working in the studio?
Professionalism, first of all. If you're working in the studio, be professional. If you're not professional or you don't take it seriously, man, you can't expect your team to take you seriously. You can't even expect the engineer, man. The engineer can vibe off of your energy and how professional you are. If you're not professional, sure, the engineer might not take you as serious, and your quality might suffer. Or if you don't take yourself seriously enough, your songs is obviously gonna show in that. You know what I'm saying? So be professional and be true to who you are. Because, man, it's like you might hear something to get influenced by something, but it's like, man, you don't have to do that. You wake up with your own story every day, man. It's like you making these songs, and it's the same stuff we hear day in and day out. When every time you wake up, you got a story that you could tell. You just never take advantage of that. You just want to do what somebody else is doing. That's wild to me. You know what I'm saying? So be true to yourself and be professional, man. Them are a couple gems, yeah.
All right. So you work with a lot of artists, man, and you've got a nice history in music.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you approach working with new and emerging artists?
I'm a professor at UCM as well, so I teach music technology and digital audio production, music business practices up there, and as far as artists, I try to be as educational as possible. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people may not know some basic stuff, so I just try to. I don't like to insult people with their knowledge base. So, and you never know who's gonna develop into that next artist. So you always want to make sure that you just being professional and educating that person as they moving along. So if you up and coming and you new, we just make sure to provide you with as much information as possible. No question is a dumb question. When you work with me, I have a process. Every studio has their own process. I'll guide you through my processes. We work together. Pretty much I'm doing co-production on a lot of artists that I work with until they kind of come into their own. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So what advice would you give an aspiring artist looking to break into the music industry?
Like I said, be professional, do you. Those are two very important things. You know what I mean? Be creative, and you gotta make sure you got budgets. You know what I'm saying? Like people think that they can just look the part, but it's so much more on the back end. Like once you create the product, man, especially if you good at it, then you got to get it out there. The work begins after that. You know what I'm saying? With marketing and promotion and things of that nature. So, and a lot of artists feel, a lot of artists feel like they entitled, especially if they good. Like, man, I'm good. I should just be able to put it out, and people should just pay me money and just give me millions of dollars. It's like, bro, don't work like that. You got to get out there and still let people know who you are, even if you're a good artist. So.
So how do you handle creative differences in the studio? Because I know that happens because you're creating as well. So how do you handle when it's a difference?
Well, I call myself a master of non-defensive communication. So when I talk to artists, I'll phrase it in the form of a suggestion. You know what I'm saying? And then if they don't agree with the suggestion, then I have to yield to that because I'm helping paint the picture. It's not my picture. You know what I'm saying? I'm just providing a space where you can come and paint your picture. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, man. If you want it a certain way, if I feel like you said a word wrong, and I'm like, hey, you can redo that. They like, nah, that's how I wanted to say it. All right, you know what I'm saying? If that's how you want to paint your picture, then hey, so be it. So, yeah. So if there's a creative difference, then I let them do their thing, and especially when I'm in an industry setting, I fly out and do sessions for industry people as well. I'm not even allowed to give any creative input in those sessions because they have people there for that. They have the producer there. I'm just the engineer, and then you got the beat producer, and you got the artist. So it's a bunch of different roles in the industry setting that I'm just here to hit these buttons and make sure I capture the performance. So.
Okay. So that's leading me into my next question was talking about the difference in working with like major labels.
Okay. So yeah, most of the time, a lot of independent artists don't understand. I don't know. They get a lot of perks just from being independent. Like they come in and say, "Hey man, I want you to, give me input. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Let me know this or that. And it's like in the industry setting, they don't get to, you know what I'm saying? There's a person there, the producer, because you got a beat producer to make the beat, but you also have a record producer. So the record producer is the person who's supposed to whip you into shape and keep you in line with the vision of the record. You know what I'm saying? So you got beat producer, record producer. Then you might have a couple writers there. I know people feel some type of way about everybody writing. A lot of that goes on in the industry with rappers, singers, or whatever. Like there are a ton of writers. It's just the way it is. So we got all these different roles in this one room. And so you just got to really kind of just stay in your lane when you in the industry room. On the independent side, I'm all of those people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, I mean, you might get a beat from somewhere, but I'm doctoring the beat. We might change some stuff around. I'm producing the song with you, trying to get the best performance. I might change a bar or two, help you write it. So I'm like all these people wrapped into one. But on the industry side, all these people are getting paid thousands of dollars each to be in that room with you, and you know that I'm doing it all just for the studio fee. So it's a lot. It's a difference.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I wanted that to come out because I know a lot of times artists, independent artists, especially those coming up, don't realize the amount of work that goes into when they're independent and they come to a producer, someone who's engineering, but they're also playing many different hats.
Yeah.
In the independent, that you would be that they would be taking out your budget and you with that
If
major
you was,
label.
yeah,
Right.
Because all these individual people, man. The last time I flew out, it was 9 people in the room,
Okay.
and everybody's getting paid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They had 3 writers, the beat producer, the record producer, the manager was there. They had an entourage of people that was with them. You know what I mean? So everybody getting paid.
Yeah.
Except maybe the entourage, but yeah, everybody else, yeah. Check being cut.
Okay. So let's jump into some technical things real quick. So what is your favorite, would you say would be your favorite piece of equipment to work with in the studio? And then why?
Piece of equipment. Yeah, I got to play. It's like a plethora of stuff. But if I had to say one thing, it would be Pro Tools.
Okay.
That's my doll. You know what I'm saying? My digital audio workstation. So Pro Tools is like the granddaddy of all the other workstations. You know what I mean? Like pretty much 99% of the stuff you hear on the radio is from Pro Tools. You know what I mean? So that's the most important piece of equipment. But I got like mics, my U87. It might cost like $4,000. You know what I'm saying? That's like the industry standard for a lot of people. So yeah, Pro Tools and my U87. So we can get that going. I can do anything.
Okay. So how have you managed to stay current and stay up with the new technology and the?
Well, I'm a student of technology. I have a degree in computer information systems. I graduated from CMSU or UCM up in Warrensburg, the same place I teach at now. But I'm a student. I always remain a student, and I always tell people that I read manuals.
Okay.
So even if I don't understand the material, I still read it. I just bought a keyboard a couple weeks ago. I said read the whole manual, even if I didn't understand what was going on. And then once I started using the equipment, your brain automatically recalls some of those things that you went through, you know what I'm saying, or that you read. So always remain a student, and that's what I live by. If somebody else come in the studio, they may not be as good as me on Pro Tools, but they may make a suggestion or something. They may have a key command or something. I'm like, well, dang, I didn't even you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know that you could do that with that. So I don't have too much pride in that area. I'm like, yo, I always remain a student. I always make sure that I'm always learning. So
Okay. Now, for those who don't know, can you break down to us the difference. And sometimes people don't even realize that there is a difference in processes. And I'm talking about the process of mixing and mastering, and then the process of recording. Like them is two totally different things.
Well, it's 3 or 4 actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So, basically, what I explained, the 3 basic processes of creating a record, or 4. First of all, you got to write the record. Some people freestyle, or they cook up while they in the booth. You know what I mean? But yeah, writing a record or actually creating a record would be the first step. The 3 basic steps after that are recording, mixing, and mastering. So, excuse me. Recording is basically the process of getting the actual information into the computer or any other media. You might be recording on the tape. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we used to record on little cassettes.
Mm-hmm.
So, so recording is actually getting the song onto some other type of media, like be it a tape or a computer or whatever. So we'll just use computer as an example. So you load up Pro Tools and you just record what you're doing. Mixing is the next step after that. That's actually blending all the different takes, the beat, putting all your effects and everything into the song. So, yeah, so after you record, you basically mix the song. Mastering, I always explain, if you're working on a project and you're, let's say over a period of time, you recorded 10 songs or whatever, it's going to be different days. Your voice is going to be different on different days. Equipment levels could possibly be set different, you know what I'm saying, over a period of time. So I tell people to look at it as a puzzle piece, like each song. So mastering, basically, you putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. And you want to check the orientation of it, see how straight things are, see how everything locks in. So mastering, you checking for sonic, you know, like tonal balance in between each song. You trying to check for levels to make sure all the songs are hitting at the same level. And if you listen to a mastered album, you shouldn't have to play with the volume or play with the EQ when you listening to it. When it's playing back in your car or your stereo system or your Bluetooth, everything should sound comparable. Each song should sound similar to each other. So yeah, those are the 3 steps.
Okay. All right. Now, how do you're dealing with a lot of different personalities, dealing with a lot of different artists.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you ensure that the final product meets the standards of you? Because coming out of your studio, it's got to be a certain standard.
Yeah.
But then the standard and the vision of the artist.
Well, we have some issues with that. First of all, your budget comes into question.
Okay.
Because it's like, I get some people try to book an hour and try to do 3 songs in an hour. It's like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to have time to mix the song. We just going to record it. But then you want to put it out and say that you want to put my stamp on it. Well, I didn't approve that because, you know, we got to take time to mix the record and get it properly mastered before you put it out. You know what I'm saying? So, make sure you have a budget, and if people come in, I have other studios I refer them to if they need something to where it's like they can get you 3 songs done. It'll be loud, and you know. But I don't work on records like that. I want to give you a chance to compete with the actual records in the industry. And if you don't want to do that, this might not be the right studio for you. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So yeah, I just like, hey, I got somebody that'll get you in for your hour and get your songs, and bro, they be loud, and however they sound is how they sound. But that's just not how I work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, let's jump over to here. You won an Emmy for your work on A Century of Change. Mm-hmm. Now, how did that project come about?
Shout out to my guy Kerry. We call him Classic, but good friend of mine.
Harrison? That's what you're talking about?
Huh?
Harrison?
No, that's Carrington.
Oh, Carrington. Okay.
Yeah, he's a good friend.
Okay.
Actually, he did a baseball I mean, a basketball documentary.
For sale?
Yep, from
Okay,
Pembroke to
that's
Purcell.
what I know. Okay.
So Carrington,
Okay.
we'll get back.
I'm sorry,
We're
I
gonna
didn't
get
mean
back.
to cut you off.
No, I was trying to get him to submit from Purcell to Pembroke because it aired on Spectrum, and if it aired, see, Emmy is television, so Grammy is music equivalent.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, see, I don't want to deviate too far,
Okay.
but anyway, I was trying to get him to submit because, man, from Purcell to Pembroke is a masterpiece, but it was too long, and I told him to just cut it at an hour. I'm like, bro, you could just stop and roll the credits and just submit it. You're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't get it. We didn't get it submitted in time because I did some sound design on there and leveled out. I did a lot of mixing on from Purcell to Pembroke.
Okay.
But my dude Class was doing some work for the Negro Leagues, and A Century of Change is basically a documentary on it was a 100-year celebration, the centennial celebration of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. And he called me to record all the narrators' parts. So that's how I became a part of the film.
Okay.
I recorded all the parts you hear when the narrator chimes in, when they showing all the B-roll and stuff like that. So yeah, I gave him all the deliverables and mixed the vocals and stuff down and sent them to him. And he submitted it for an Emmy, and we ended up winning that category. So.
Okay. So how'd that feel, man, receiving such a prestigious award, for your work?
Man, okay, so I was excited about it, but I was getting a lot of weird vibes in the city, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you start achieving stuff like that, people just start looking at you different and treating you different. Okay. So it took a while before I was just like, man, forget that. Because I didn't even have it at the studio for a while. You know what I'm saying? I had people like, well, how'd you get that? Just weird, like, dang, instead of, you should be happy for something like that. Like, man. Yeah. So, and I've always been inspirational. Anytime I make a post or anything, I'm like, inspirational posts and all that. So, but after a while, man, I was like, man, you know what? I need to bring this to the studio so everybody can see it. And I'll be able to tell by your energy just from seeing it, like how you feel about it. So, since I brought it to the studio, it's been nothing but good vibes, man. Everybody that sees it, they like, wow, you know what I'm saying? This is an achievement. Some people don't know what it is. I had to break it down for them. But once I tell them what it is, they like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, I never thought I would see an Emmy because I've been in so many studios, platinum plaques and Grammys and stuff, like with people that done some great work in audio. But not everybody gets a chance to work in television or film. You know what I'm saying? So it was a shout out to Class for that. And yeah, it was a great experience. And yeah, like I said, nothing but positive vibes since I brought it to the studio.
Good. So, man, let's see. Let me see. How do I ask this question? How do you take those achievements, and not just the Emmy, but I am including the Emmy, but you got other achievements.
Yeah, I just won I just won the People's Choice Awards a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Best studio. Thanks, man.
Yeah. So how do you take these achievements, man, or how do these achievements impact your career and future projects?
Well, I will say this: the Emmy has opened up a lot of doors. So it's like, being that we're in the Midwest, people already have a preconceived notion about who we are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not in L.A. or y'all not in New York. Y'all not in Atlanta. And this and that. So when they come in, like I have people fly in and they see that, they like, oh, okay. This the real deal, I got countless Billboard plaques and Spotify views and all of that. So when people see that, it changes their perception of who we are in the Midwest. So it definitely helps out in the career. If I walk in a room with Grammy Award winning engineers, producers, artists, whoop-de-whoop, and I put the Emmy up, they wondering how they can get over in that space to get an Emmy. So it's like, it puts me in a rare space, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's super dope. So it helps out quite a bit.
Okay. Nice. So what sets 6'4", 111 Studios apart from other recording studios in Kansas City?
Well, I'll say this. I'm the longest running black-owned recording studio in Kansas City. So, 22 years.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been October to be 22 years. I signed a lease on my building in October of 2003.
Okay.
So, integrity is one of my biggest factors. I don't trying to get the best sound, so I'm always upgrading, always studying, always trying to figure out how to find a way for Kansas City artists to compete with what's going on in the industry. You know what I'm saying? And I keep it 100 with artists, man. Like, if your song is whack, hey, bro, you need to work on it, bro. Don't get mad at me. You know what I mean? So if I don't ask my opinion about it if you don't want to know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you insecure about how your music sound, don't come to me. You come to me if you focused on putting out the best product. You know what I mean? And that's all I've ever focused on.
Okay. So describe the culture at 6'4" and 111.
I'm big on vibes. I'm big on vibes. So if your energy's off, you know what I'm saying, it's damn near therapy when we working. So I'm always trying to keep the vibes up, trying to be encouraging. I want you to get your best performance. And so that's pretty much the culture at 64111 Studio. We execute. You know what I'm saying? So you got a performance, you got something you need to do. Well, man, I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear no excuses, man. Like, let's get it done, bro. Let's do your best work right now, dog. I don't want to hear no excuse about it. You know what I'm saying? So high energy, high vibes, and high level execution, man. That's what we strive for at 64111.
Okay. Now, running any business is not easy, but running a business and it's a studio, that's even more of a hard thing to do because there's a lot of things that you have to manage. And let's just keep it honest. And not just in the recording bit, but a lot of times when people are spending money, they think it's theirs.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So they have an entitlement part of this my studio right now.
Yeah.
So how do you ensure that it's going to be productive and creative atmosphere? Because, we brought our students over there for a time to be able to be creative and learn, and it was a great experience. The atmosphere there was always one conducive for everyone. It was never, we never was there with our students and there was an issue as far as this being not a productive place or not an environment for creativity.
Yeah.
Man, how do you manage that? What do you test that to?
Like I said, for me, it always comes back to integrity. You know what I mean? And accountability. Like if somebody's off or they not right or they not in the right space, man, I'm gonna holler at you like, hey, what's going on? You're gonna have to examine yourself, bro, because I'm not gonna be pointing fingers or doing any of that. I'm gonna ask you and see. I'm gonna ask you a series of questions, get you to examine yourself to see where you at. You know what I'm saying? Because you won't be able to blame it on me or blame it on anybody else. It's like if you're not in the right space, bro, you got to figure out what's going on with you. Like even I keep some 20-pound weights and 30-pound weight. They just be on the floor in the studio. Mm-hmm. Somebody might come in with an attitude, funky. I'm like, bro, what's up with that? Bro, come out the booth, man. Come hit these. Hit a 10-piece real quick. Man, my girl at home tripping, bro. I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah, bro, that ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to either leave that at the door or put it in the song. Like, let's channel that emotion, bro. But, yeah, so you got to, But like I said, your vibes is big. I'm big on vibes. So your vibes is off. I can tell something's off. We gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So we can get the best performance out of you.
Okay. So how do you balance the let me see how I put it, the creative and the business side of running the studio? How do you balance that?
Well, I've learned over the years. I done bumped my head so many times, like being nice. Now it's more of a matter of fact type deal. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say it to insult you or disrespect you or anything like that. I'm just gonna state like, hey, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I had people try to come in and say, well, man, this wasn't what I wanted and all that. Like, I done had those type of altercations. It's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I take care of it. It's not necessarily the customer is always right, but if it's within my means to just rectify the situation, I'll just do it because I don't want to spend that type of energy. I don't want to go too far negative because it's not even worth it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, bro, let's just work this out and then you can move on and we can keep it pushing. But most of the time you gotta train your clients.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if I have a client that pays a deposit to get in and then they call me an hour before the session, well, bro, I ain't gonna make it. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Well, what's up with that deposit? I'm like, what deposit, bro? Like, that was what the deposit was for. Just go back on there and book again. We ain't got to argue. Man, you can't just take that and put it towards. No, bro. Like, so you just want me to take a complete L? Like, I didn't think about it like that. Like, dang, bro, you just book 5 hours and like, yeah, I ain't, bro. I'll just catch you next time. Like, you might not. You know what I'm saying? Because I got family and kids to feed just like you. If you out busy, then so you done got me for basically the amount of money it costs for 5 hours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just put it to them like that and let them do what they will with that. But most people understand that. Like, yeah, bro, I'm literally running a business, and what you just did, and so that deposit just protects me from taking a complete L.
Right.
And they like, all right, bro. Like, yeah, bro. Like, yeah, just go back on there and book it. I ain't even mad. Yeah. That L just protected me from taking a complete L. Maybe I can finish some other stuff that I was working on. Yeah. But I ain't gonna take no complete L because you just like don't respect my time. So once they start understanding that process, it's like, okay. Yeah. All right, Jazz. I ain't gonna make it, bro. I already know. You know what I'm saying? What's up? I'll get on there and rebook, bro. I'll just catch you next time. All right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how it goes now for most people.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, this is a question that I'm trying to figure out. I thought I was gonna get the answer myself, but so if we was to ask you what is your title or profession, what would you say?
I'm a recording engineer at 64111 Studios / business owner.
Okay.
So my primary position is a recording engineer. Okay. So I recorded, and I'm also a mixing and mastering engineer.
Right.
So in the industry, typically they have 3 different people that do that. They got a person that record, and they send it to the mixing person. They send it to the mastering person.
Yeah, you do all 3.
I'm all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm gonna ask you to take yourself out of this question.
All right.
Who would you consider some of the top engineers in Kansas City? Because you're in that lane, you're working, so we just want to talk about your colleagues and who you consider some of the top. And this is in no order, and I'm not saying these are the only top, none of this. I'm not putting none of that. I'm just asking, you know what I'm saying, your opinion to top because you're in that field. I would ask basketball players, football players, the same thing.
Okay. Well, all right. So, I mean, keeping it 100, man, like my guy Buddha, In the Dark Productions, he's somebody I would trust with my sound, and I know that because he's a student of sound just like me, and he's looking for the best product. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So he's always making sure that he's giving his, you know what I'm saying? He's giving 100% every time he has a mix or something that comes across his desk. Okay. That's one of the people that I mess with. You know what I mean? The other Rob Rebeck, He used to work for the studio called Chapman. It's now closed, but he did a lot of work for Tech and stuff like that. I've always been a fan of his sound as a colleague. So
Okay.
So yeah, those are two people. There's countless other studios out there, but this is my episode. Y'all can come back and holler at them if y'all need to mention y'all stuff.
Yeah.
But shout out, y'all know who y'all are. I appreciate y'all too.
Yeah. Okay. I just asked a question.
Yeah,
There was
but
no
those are
shade.
two. Those are two of my
But this
engineers.
was not no shade, no.
Oh no. Shout out to everybody else too. Because they all creating. We all part of this ecosystem. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. So how do you see your role in the Kansas City music scene?
Like I said, man, longest running black owned studio in Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? And one of the top engineers quality wise in the city. That's how I see myself. I see myself like I'm one of those guys. If somebody come in town, I would want, if an artist came in town from somewhere else and they asked, man, where should we go? I would want to be mentioned in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I put in enough work to be mentioned in that conversation. But yeah, that's how I view myself. I feel like I should be mentioned.
Okay.
And I feel like I can deliver, you know what I'm saying, with the artists, you know what I'm saying, what they need. So
Okay. All right. So are there any community projects or local artists that you're particularly proud of supporting or working with?
I just linked up with UNESCO.
Okay.
And that's the United Nations organization, and they have a thing called Creative City KC. And I just did a panel there, and it was hosted at UMKC over on Trch. And they recognize Kansas City as one of the cities of music. It's 60 cities on Earth, and Kansas City is one of them. So, I just linked up with them recently. So, I've been doing that. Let me see. I'm involved with my church. I run sound for my church. So, but anything involving the youth, I do stuff like that. I've developed the curriculum for a couple youth programs. I ain't gonna mention them on here because it just got kind of weird. But and I also developed the curriculum for UCM, the programs that I was teaching at school. So
Okay.
yeah, and that's fun. They gave me free reign. They checked out everything, and they were satisfied with the curriculum. So yeah, we just rocked out like that, and the students were into it. So
Okay. So now I'm gonna ask. We gonna get into some few things. We gonna get into it now. Get you a drink. We gonna get into it. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna say a few names. When I say the name,
oh snap! All right.
what I want you to do is I want you just to talk about, because there's each. I know each artist is different. Each person is different to work with. I just want you to talk about what you know when this artist is coming. You know, okay, I know this is my mind frame. This is where I'm at with the creative process. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll see.
All right. Let's talk about. We're gonna start off with my Bulldog brother, Lavelle.
Man. Easy going. You know what I'm saying? You just want me to describe some things about
yeah. The sessions.
Yeah. So Lavelle's easy going. Man, he just lets me go. You know what I mean? So like the budget's a little different because he's a bigger artist.
Mm-hmm.
So we can spend time on the record. He like, bro, just do it till it's done, bro. So he might sit there with me 5-7 hours on the record. No recording. Just like all mixing. I get to just go in and make sure every nuance of the song is put together and everything is in its right place. So yeah, Lavelle, he just lets me roam free, man. I get to just go crazy on his records. And a lot of people ask, well, man, I want my stuff to sound like his. Like, the budget's different. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So
Okay. Another Bulldog brother, Julius.
Julius, super talented. Super talented brother, man. Okay. And Lavelle also. But but yeah, Jew's a little. I mean, I want Jew to drop some stuff because he's sitting on a vault. You know what I'm
Now he
saying?
just dropped Cold.
I know. I did
Yeah,
cold.
yeah, I know you did.
Cold.
Just dropped.
Yeah,
It's coming.
I did cold. So, but man, we worked on that song. He kept coming back to the table
Yeah.
with new ideas with it. So, we got
That's
it there.
him. He stay creative.
Yeah,
He
I'm like, Jew, hey, fam, the baby got to be born, bro. Let the baby be born. So,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I'm proud of him for even hopping off the porch. So hopefully you'll be hearing some more stuff from him in the future. So.
Okay. YGKC.
He at the studio right now. And I was waiting on Buddha to pull up, and he showed up a little early. I'm like, bro, I gotta leave. So when Buddha got there, I'm running out. Buddha running in. So yeah, they up there cooking up right now. Okay. YG super talented. Like I said, output. YG. He writes fast, super creative. You know what I mean? And I just need more music from him. You know what I'm saying? So he's working on a project. He's been working on it for a minute. So we just looking forward to that.
Okay. Rich the Factor.
Oh man. Rich is like my brother. We always Rich is like always expect you to know what he's thinking. So you got to kind of, and he got a lingo about him that you can't. It's like he talking his own. He got his own bubble, his own world. So you got to kind of tap into where he's at. You know what I mean? So anytime but like I said, me and Rich are like brothers. So I've worked with him long enough to understand his point of view. So we got our system down packed, man. And he's one of the hardest working artists in Kansas City. He has the most records out, and he just never stops working. He has his process, and he sticks to it. You know what I mean? So, and even on the outside looking in with people with him, they like, well, man, how's he putting out so much stuff? I'm like, bro, the rabbit and the tortoise, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He just gonna keep working at it. So that's Rich.
Okay. Steve Yancey.
Steve is okay. Steve is like a super creative. It's almost like you gotta wrangle Steve in because he'll like it just come out of his face like that. Like he'll say something. You like, oh man, all of that is like, but that wasn't what we need to stay in this lane. He like, but Steve is just oh yeah, Steve is just his aura. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's just who he is. His music is just in him. And so yeah, sometimes you just gotta wrangle it in so you can get exactly what you need, especially if an artist is specific. But tying him back to Rich will just, man, do you, and so Steve will get to just do his thing. But sometimes we might have artists where it's like a real specific thing. It's like Steve is just such a creative person that we gotta wrangle him in. But yeah, super talented, bro. Though.
Okay. What about Gunn Kevi? Rest in peace, but Gunn Kevi.
Man, Kevi he just always been real chill, man. Like I said, super talented. You know what I mean? Man, he was just like, man, just ready to get to work. He get in there and cook up, just a straight shooter, bro. Like he didn't. Yeah, I didn't even have too much on Key. He just get in and get to work, man.
Okay. So. Roblo Da Star.
Roblo is like the vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like she's a creative too, but she's also like really focused on, you know what I'm saying, what she's trying to achieve. But real big on vibes, like studio vibe, everything is cool. The creative stuff, sometimes I don't even feel like you working when you're in the studio with Roblo. Like she'd be in there just cooking up. We look up like, dang, we done knocked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We done knocked out, you know what I'm saying? We done did all this work, but it didn't even feel like it. So, yeah, vibes, yeah.
Okay. 2 more. The Popper.
The Popper, energy with Popper. Like, matter of fact, I just linked up with him earlier today. Energy. Popper is a real prompt person. He's super organized. I tell him he got OCD all the time, but he's always like making sure everything is just so. So, and lyricist, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, lyrically, ain't a lot of people messing with Popper in the city. Even though, you know what I'm saying, Popper older, I'm older, but yeah, Popper he get with you if he need to.
Yeah. He still battle.
Oh yeah, and ready for it.
Yeah,
he ready.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready.
KC Young Boss.
Boss. Another one, super talented. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'll be trying to get Boss to just come and just cook up because Boss is he's one of those guys that's super prepared and everything. Everything's thoughtful, prepared, laid out, mapped out. And that's why he coming with them metaphors and it's still street, but it's still got that twist on it. You know what I'm saying? So, and part of that is the amount of preparation he puts in. And he records really fast, so he'll lay a verse in one take. He'll say the whole thing exactly how he heard it in his head. Like, bam, you like, psh.
Yeah.
Yep. One time we had a session and somebody had a feature and they booked some time and it took him a minute for him to get there. I'm like, don't even worry about it, bro. And as soon as he walked in, boom, boom, here you go. They like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, bro. He's ready. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you letting us go down a little bit, talking with different artists
I
that
don't know
has
how
been.
much backlash I'm going to get from all this.
Well, hopefully none. We just talking.
Yeah,
Everything was good.
Shout out to all the artists I mentioned.
And the ones you didn't that we didn't ask. There's plenty more that come through there.
Yeah.
We just asked about a few. We couldn't ask about all of them.
Yeah.
So, what are your goals for the future for 64111 Studio?
Well, I can't give y'all all that because I'm big on intellectual property.
Okay.
And so anytime I talk too much about what's going on in the future, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It ain't necessarily it being taken, but something happens where I gotta alter my course. So,
okay.
But I will say this: I want Kansas City to be recognized in the industry. So, I mean, a lot of us are out there working. Jay White's out there. Dominique Sanders is out there. We got a lot of artists here that are known, you know, throughout the country. You know, K Stylist. Brian Kennedy out there doing all this stuff he did all this stuff for Rihanna. I mean, it's so many people that's out here in the industry from Kansas City. You'd be blown away. And I mentioned, I said Jay White, Brian Kennedy, Dominique Sanders, Anthony Saunders, Boyz II Men, Justin Bieber, Joe Black. Man, I'm telling you, it was just a ton of people who've had a ton of contributions to the mainstream, quote unquote, mainstream industry that's just out here working. You know what I'm saying? So, my vision is to bring that to Kansas City. Like, you ain't got to go to LA to get that. You ain't got to go to New York or Nashville or Atlanta to get that creative vibe or to get business done. I want people to be able to come here and get it done. So,
okay,
that's the vision.
Okay, man, what do you see as the next big trend in music production? Is it AI?
Yeah, I mean AI is kind of I feel like it may limit your creativity. Some of the mundane stuff, like, well, shout out to all the graphic producers graphic artists and stuff, but AI is making it real easy to create cover art and stuff like that. Excuse me. But we used to have booklets and stuff that we used to read through, and now you just upload this little graphic. It don't even got to be high resolution or nothing. So it's a lot easier for people to do that. And the creative aspect is like AI comes from somewhere, so we got to figure out where AI is getting this information. It wasn't just created out of thin air. They pulled it from something that existed before, a lot like what we do. You know what I mean? So the next trend, and I that's just tough because the technology is already changed in the playlist. The concept of a playlist has already made it harder for an artist to convey a complete thought. You know what I mean? So it's like if you release a project like Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar, it was like a movie if you listen to it in order. But most people don't do that anymore. That was like one of the last projects that had like a concept to it, and so the playlist broke that all up. It's like you listen to one song from here, one song from there, and it's complete. It's so easy to do it. So the trend probably I would say is a lot less albums. Okay. It's just gonna be a lot more like people just dropping songs. You know what I'm saying? So
okay. If you think back just to date, what would you say has been your most rewarding moment of your career so far?
Man, the moment. Well, just me being able to sustain a lifestyle.
Okay.
You know, I got a wife and kids, house, and then I got the the building, of course. And just me being able to sustain that after all these years is a rewarding experience. It's not I'm not the richest guy on earth. People think all that money go in my pocket. I'm like, nah. I got 2 light bills, 2 gas. I got 1 home, 1 studio. 2 light bills, 2 gas bills, mortgage, lease. You know what I'm saying? Cable bill, water bill. So it's like overhead at the studio. But the fact that I'm still able to, you know what I'm saying, maintain that and just have the lifestyle that I have now is the most rewarding at this point. My family's taken care of.
Yeah, okay. So how do you stay motivated and inspired, in your work, man?
For one, being a student, so I'm paying attention to technology and trends and stuff like that. That piques my interest because it's like you can get stuck in your ways, and then that's how you end up falling off because you're not willing to embrace was before you, and you'll see it and be like, nah, I ain't doing that. It's like, nah, remain a student. So I remain a student, and one thing my wife taught me is vacations.
Okay.
Like real deal, like get away, give yourself some time to decompress. And because I deal with a lot of people's energies in a very intimate setting. When people are creating, they got their songs with feelings in them and situations they going through. So I deal with so many energies in the course of a day that it could wear on you. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure that I take really good vacations and give myself enough time to completely decompress.
Okay. Yeah. So that was going to be one of my questions. I was going to ask you, how do you balance your personal life and your business and vacations?
Man,
get
listen.
out, decompress.
Yeah.
Okay. But man, what's some of your favorite songs or albums? We just talking about just you, Jaz Brewer. Not that you worked on or just you, your taste.
Oh, man,
just think back.
Oh man. So right now I've been listening to a lot of soft rock.
Okay.
My favorite song, I have a favorite song. Some people don't, but my favorite song is Toto. It's a group called Toto, and they have a song called Africa. No,
Okay.
dun 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 dun. Like that. That song is just
Okay.
like the most perfect record to me. You know what I'm saying? But I listen to a bunch of soft rock now that I'm older. But now, like I said, I'm a hip hop guy for the most part. Like, Nas's first album, Biggie first album, Jay first album, Outkast first album. In the new era, the Kendrick has some of them. To Pimp a Butterfly is one of my favorite new era albums, even though it came out quite a while ago. But just just crafted. Just it was just a masterpiece to me. You know what I'm saying? It's polarizing to a lot of people, but if you listen to it and pay attention to what he's saying, it's like, man, he really put together a body of work, and it's a lot of people. A lot of people now they just putting out stuff whatever's vibey, or whatever the trend is, and then it's like, man, you wasn't really, you know what I'm saying? You just putting this out hoping you hit the lotto. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, give us some work. Talk about your experience and make it real for us. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like, yeah, Michael Jackson a close second to Toto, but the Africa record is that deal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna check that one out.
Yeah, it as soon as you play it. You're gonna be like, oh man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, so what advice would you give to someone who is wanting to start or own their own studio?
Focus on the sound. You know what I'm saying? I get a lot of people who talk about they go to a studio, but the studio person is also an artist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you might be better than them or something. They're like, nah, I ain't gonna really focus on their music as much or getting their mix together. It's like, man, focus on the sound. Give every client the best sound that you can give them within your capability. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like study and just give people the best product that you could possibly give them. There's levels to it. I understand that. I start off in my mama's dining room, so I ain't saying I just came out and it was just like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? I had to work for that. So just give everybody the best product that you can give them.
Okay. What would you say would be the key to longevity in this industry?
Integrity, and that's been my thing. Integrity and being accountable. If there's a problem, just figure out a solution. And educating and training your clients. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have a steady process or you don't train your clients, then when something goes off the rails, they not gonna know how to handle it, and neither are you. So you just need to make sure you train your clients and have your processes in order. And I developed all my processes, of course, from those situations where I ended up bumping my head like, oh, okay, this is what I need to do. So,
how important is networking?
Extremely important. I mean, as you know, when you used to bring the kids there with Jenna, any artist that was in there, I make sure that everybody cross promoted. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I got to check for street stuff, make sure there wasn't no people funking that was there at the same time. But really, you know what I'm saying? If somebody's there and I know that they're in the street, like a YG or a Roblo or Steve Yancey or somebody of that nature, and somebody else is down the hall recording with Buddha, I'm gonna make sure that I link these people up with each other. Like, hey, this is so and so. Man, y'all need to link up and just check out each other's work. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, networking is very important. That's half the battle.
Yeah. So, what would you say are one or two of the biggest misconceptions about being a producer or a studio owner?
Well, right off the bat, they think beat producer and music producer, or beat producer and record producer are the same thing. And it's like a lot of artists feel like when they come in, the engineer is supposed to help you produce the record. Well, really, if you came up with the record, you wrote the lyrics, you figured out the arrangement, you figured out the delivery, all of those things. You're your own producer, and they come in and just expect. They like, man, well, the dude didn't say nothing when I went to so and so studio. I'm like, in L.A., you aren't allowed to, because then you got to pay him. You got to pay that person a producer fee. You got to get in publishing on top of the engineering fee. Like, no, they not even allowed to talk in those rooms. So it's like, y'all getting this. This is a courtesy. You know what I'm saying? So you got to realize that you are your own record producer. And that's the biggest misconception. People don't understand that. They just been, I don't want to say spoiled, but a lot of people just like, oh, this is just how it goes. It's like, no, this is not really how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that most people don't know about Jaz?
That they don't know about me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I might have revealed it earlier that I listen to a lot. I like soft rock.
Okay.
So I don't listen to a lot of I don't listen to a ton of rap like I used to back in the day, because I listen to it all day. So when I'm in the car, I'm listening to Steely Dan, you know what I'm saying, or you know, Fleetwood Mac or something like that. Just something to counter when I go. But yeah,
Fleetwood Mac got some hits. Though.
Oh yeah, Steely Dan, Michael McDonald, all of them are like in that same. Oh man, it's some good stuff. I put out Apple Music playlist, and a lot of people was like, "Wow, this is like crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, no." So yeah.
Okay. So, what is one thing that you want people to know about Jaz?
That I'm always trying to figure out how to provide the best product for every artist that I work with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what do you enjoy doing outside of music?
I'm a water guy, so I love the water. You know what I'm saying? My wife trying to get me to travel somewhere else. I'm like, I need to go see some water, man. That's where my reset is. So I'm a Pisces, so I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I'm a water guy, and that's where I like to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if I ask you about legacy, what legacy would you, if you could choose yours, what legacy would you want to leave? And I'm asking you two different things. What legacy would you want to leave in the music industry? And then what legacy would you like to leave in KC?
Well, the music industry, I just want to, the truth. I want the legendary status. I want to be known as a legend in Kansas City. I worked with countless artists, hundreds of artists. I may not get my flowers now, but I do from quite, my people that respect me, but, yeah, in the city, yeah, I just want to be known as a person who had a huge contribution to Kansas City music.
Okay.
And you said just in KC, really on the educational side, I want to try to do more with that. I've been having more opportunities with that lately, so I want to explore that and see if we can get some more stuff going on the educational side as far as legacy goes.
Okay. Now, how would you want to be remembered by the artists that you've worked with?
Somebody always pushed, you know what I'm saying, always pushed you to make sure that you was doing your best work. Yeah.
Give them another time how they can find you with your socials and the studio.
All right, www.64111studio.com is a website. That's how you can do booking. JAZ64111 Studio on Instagram and Twitter, and then Jaz Brewer on Facebook, because they make you name it. But I also have a like page on there, the 64111 Studio. But Jaz Brewer on Facebook.
Okay.
Fastest way to catch me.
Okay. All right. You have the attention of the whole world, Jaz, for 20 seconds. What would you fill that 20 seconds with? Don't tell me what I want you to give that 20 seconds like this.
You want me to give a
20
second speech?
No, you got 20 seconds. What are you going to say with the world?
I don't even need 20.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody be accountable. Own your stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Pride, envy, all of these things fall under that umbrella of accountability. So if you're accountable and you're in a situation, it'll force that other person to be accountable. Set your pride to the side, be accountable, and it just own all your actions, man, good or bad. So, yeah.
All right. I think I would have put 64111 Studios in there somewhere, sometime. The whole
Come
world.
shop with your boy. Come record. I'm thinking presidential, man.
Man, Jaz, I appreciate you, man, for coming and giving us the time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah.
And, man, if you don't know, man, this is Jaz with 64111 Studios. Make sure you book it. Make sure you go follow and like. And then check this episode out. I am Coach Mo. This has been the Evening Social Podcast, and we out.